Over the last few weeks, we've seen a litany of injuries and at the same time some losses. I mean, do you feel like the season's kind of getting away from you, or how are you seeing things now?
Well, we're 3-4. We do have a lot of injuries, especially offensively, but we just have to step up. That's just part of the game. 6-year top 7 or 7-year top 8 offensive linemen not playing makes it a little more difficult. And then 2 or 3 tight ends. We got to go to Seattle. We got to recover. We're 3-4. There's still a lot of ball left. We play Seattle's in the playoff hunt. We play Minnesota's in the playoff hunt. We play New Orleans in the playoff hunt. So we have tough 3 games in front of us. But if we take care of business, we can be right back in it.
But here's the good news. If he was sitting with you at Bonefish just having a beer, he'd say, yes, it's slipping away.
Of course it is. But here's the good news. And again, they're not going to make the playoffs, okay? They're digging too big of a hole, and they have too many injuries to overcome.
So then the season is slipping away.
Yes. Yeah, but I never thought they were going to make the playoffs. Maybe I did after the Raider game for a moment because they played so well. But they still have, even with all the injuries, and I think they'll get some of these guys back. If they get some of these guys back, they still have the Giants twice. They're 1-6. They have the Chargers who are 3-5. They have the Cardinals who are 3-4. Now, of course, they can lose all these. And they have the Broncos that are 3-3. Those are 5 mediocre to bad football teams that they have on the back end of the schedule.
So it's 5 winnable games.
I think they have 5. You could argue without feeling like an idiot. Winnable games down the stretch.
Yes,
but I don't think they're going to the playoffs.
But they're not going to win all of those games. They're not going to win all of them.
They probably won't.
Probably.
They might lose all of them.
But they could steal a game.
On paper, winnable even today with all these injuries.
And they could steal a game against a team like Minnesota.
And if they
I know Minnesota has a great record right now. They don't impress me week in and week out. They get W's.
Their defense is impressive, and their rushing attack's pretty impressive.
For the most part.
I mean, yeah, but how are you supposed to beat teams even like Minnesota with a backup line?
I think that some of those guys are going to come back. I think they'll probably lose Trent, but I think Sheriff will come back. I think Laval will come back.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, but
I think they'll have
Laval had a stinger yesterday.
He did.
But you know what? They could go down again, and then you're thrown in backups.
I know, but I can't predict that. But I think the way the guys are, I think a lot of those guys will come back, and I think we'll be competitive. And I think that in the those last 5 or 6 games are going to be very, very winnable. The next 3, monumental task. Be lucky to win one of them.
By the way, just looking at the Vikings, do you know how much better Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are than Doxson and Pryor? I mean, just look at the numbers.
100 times better.
I mean, just look at it with the production from the 1 and 2 receivers there compared to here.
Well,
it's
Crowder finally numbers yesterday, but flashing that stat where if you add Doxson, Pryor, and Crowder, you didn't even get to Antonio Brown.
Right.
Listen, our receivers have been a big disappointment. There's no question about it. But it is what it is. But yet they still find a way to move the ball. I was really blown away that we had a chance with all the debacles, with the missed field goal, with the fumbles, with the missed extra point, with all the mistakes, the drop passes. They still had the ball with a minute left with a chance to tie. Now, it wasn't a reasonably great chance by any stretch, but they had the ball with a minute left.
Yeah, well, it's because the Cowboys had all kinds of mistakes, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cowboys had drops. They had 1 million penalties. The Cowboys didn't play a clean game.
Yeah, well, it was difficult. Right. It was a difficult environment to play a clean game, I thought.
It was horrible.
By the way, the pick six at
horrible
the end
environment.
Just completely wamboozled my teaser. I mean, it just completely horned me. There's no other way to put it.
Just ship it.
I mean, I was winning that blicky the whole way, and then right at the end, pick six.
That's why gamblers can't win and gamble.
No excuses.
Can't win.
The Redskins have done that at least twice,
right
maybe
to
3
Valdez.
times at the end of games,
Gets
right?
Valdez gets better.
Definitely
I pay him $2 at a time.
The Chiefs game and then this game. What happened at the end of the Eagles game? I can't remember week in and week out, but it seems like it happens a lot.
I hate bad
where
beats.
It's actually a
That was
closer
bad beat.
loss than the scoreboard.
All right, let's bang out some of these calls. 800-636-1067. Frustrating, annoying, disappointing loss. I personally think it's hard to just kill the guys today with all the injuries and all of the things they have to overcome.
But you know what? There'll be some callers that will.
Of course.
I agree with you,
I know
but
people
what
are
does
going
it
to come
mean
out
overall?
Well, I told you, they're not a playoff
It
team.
means
It's
about
too
what
much to
people
overcome.
expected from them.
Yeah, they're going to be about what the Vegas number was, which is about 7. That's what they're going to be, unfortunately. It is what it is.
Right now, they're about the 10th best team in the NFC based on record. Now, maybe you think they're better than that based on talent, but they're 10th right now based on record.
Their receivers have been disappointing. It's the worst running game I can remember in my life.
They have zero running game.
I can't remember a word in my 40. I'm 47. I've lived here for 44 years. I can never remember a worse running game.
There has to be a concerted effort during the offseason to improve the running game.
But
by,
I'm not
by
even
leaps
convinced
and
it's the
bounds.
running backs. I'm really not.
Well, I think part of it's the running backs.
I think it's part of it.
I mean, it was pretty easy to tell looking at the game yesterday who drafted a running back top 5 out of Ohio State.
Sure.
And who
Yeah,
was
but
starting,
Cakes, they
who was
also
starting
had-
a guy from Tulane.
You're
It was pretty
correct.
simple to,
Cakes,
to figure it out.
Cakes, you're 100% right, but they built that offensive line for years leading up to it.
It's fine. You can build the offensive line all you want. If you can find an elite running back to put behind your offensive line, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And
If
trust
we
me, a
put-
few years
listen.
ago, I was the guy that was saying, never draft a running back in top 10 or top 15. It's stupid. You can pluck
But
those
this
guys
team
left and
does.
right.
This team has
but,
to.
But if you find a guy like Zeke or Leonard Fournette, and they're sitting there, or Saquon Barkley, and you can draft, you have to.
Well,
You
if it
just
wasn't-
have to.
if it wasn't
Especially
for
if your running game
penalties-
is in the shambles that it is right now.
If it wasn't for penalties, he'd have 200 yards.
right,
Yeah.
he had so
He
many
would have had
long
3
runs called back.
touchdowns.
He would have had 3.
But let me, and listen,
He did have huge holes.
there's no doubt Zeke is special.